Greetings guys, hey, thanks for joining me for this video. I actually wanted to make it yesterday. Anyhow, it turned out that for whatever reason I was stalled in the process of being able to get to the video, get to my reading room, and even to be able to succinctly produce something. And I kept thinking to myself, why? What is the message here about not doing this reading or this update or this collective conscious message for you guys yesterday? And as the day wore on, it just became more and more visible. Here's perhaps a good word, but it became more and more aware to me that there were undercurrents, or there were surges of energy coming in for yesterday that were to activate parts of the message for today, for today's reading. So you'll see this card in front of you, and it's called Insight. It has a violet border around it, so it's connected to our crown chakra area, the Sahasrara, where we gain collective conscious energy or connection to our higher self or our spirit self or source energy. And this is where we gain a degree of understanding of the soul's evolution and the journey that we're on. You can read the words on the bottom. They say understanding, awakening, awareness, self-evaluation, and I think part of that should even say self-evolution. Now, we have just come out of the 2 eclipses of July, and also in July there were 2 retrograde planets at the same time that the eclipses or the eclipse energy was occurring. These celestial events that take place are part of our overall connection to energy, to ourself, to our souls, to our higher self, and to the collective in general. So July, and we've heard a lot of astrologers talk about it, has been a potent month, and we're still weaving our way through it even now. There's also been an asteroid that has played a part in the connection, and it's called Charkalo, and it's a divine feminine asteroid, or it's linked to the divine feminine energies. Now, it's also linked to feelings and emotions that could be surfacing for a lot of you that have to do with bitterness, revenge, traumas that you may have experienced in the past, feeling as though you have been pushed down, especially from the feminine perspective. When a celestial body crosses through our pathway in the grand galaxy or the scheme of life, its energetic vibration affects us, as do any celestial events such as eclipses or retrograde planets or planetary movement. So in July, with the eclipses, the retrogrades, the Charkalo, all of these things combining together have created a gambit of energy that we feel at many different levels within our souls. Now, the asteroid Charkalo, which I don't know a great deal about, to be honest, seems as though it's tied into very ancient cycles. Now, we've also heard astrologers talk about the fact that this eclipse may have brought up feelings and memories from a 13-year cycle backwards in time. So events that happened then, or traumas or memories, resurfacing and regurgitating themselves. But it goes back further than that. This particular period of time that we're in right now, this awakening, this connection to the past and processing of events that have taken place over previous lifetimes, goes back to as far as 13,000 years ago in the time of Atlantis. So a lot of the previous harm or damage or trauma or loss or fear associated with any of those past timelines or lifelines may be reverberating now in the collective conscious, in the feminine energy, in ourselves, in our half selves, in our higher selves. So this could be why a lot of people are under the pump, as it were. We are being made to face these issues. We're getting more and more bombardment of more difficult planetary alignments, leading to make us face more difficult situations, bring up old trauma, experience it, learn from it, grow from it, learn what to drop off, what not to need anymore. So you can see these are very, very intense times. Now, going back to yesterday, why I couldn't do this video even though I wanted to, as the evening wore on, it had actually been a really pleasant day. It was quite an ethereal day. I felt very cosmically connected. I'm not sure why, but I was very far removed from the realm of Earth. I felt very floaty and just celestial, very calm as well. Now, in Auckland, about 6:30 p.m, there was an extremely large, beautiful fireball or meteorite or chip of asteroid or whatever that went right across the sky with a big flaming tail behind it. And it was seen from quite a lot of the top part of New Zealand, perhaps from north of Auckland down to past Tauranga. Now, I've just told you about the effect that these meteors or asteroids can have on us when they travel into our celestial space, and this one was particularly low, traversing over New Zealand. It's almost as if I had felt it coming, that there was another portion of the day where this energetic connection would bind us up or pick up the collective or pass across some sort of energy for us. And interestingly enough, because there are no coincidences in life, I also had some of my very dear clients contact me all at once, yesterday as such, and some just a couple of days beforehand, and some that I hadn't heard from in a very long time. Now, there are no coincidences, but for some reason they all felt interconnected enough to want to make a connection on this particular time frame. And that's what we call or term the collective energies. We are more united than we understand. So consequently, a lot of us will go through the same type of feelings, events, emotions and connectedness than we truly understand. Now, another thing that's been on my mind is the brightness of the moon. If you look out wherever you are on the planet and you look up at the moon, it is intensely bright at the moment, and it has been bright since just before the eclipse. Now, it's not a supermoon, so we don't have a supermoon close to Earth, but the brightness of it is unbelievably palpable, and that gives the moon, the lunar energy, more intensity as well, and it's shining on us very, very brightly at night. It's also at the moment up during the day, and it's very visible even in the day sky in the mornings up to about midday. So the moon is still pulling on our heartstrings, still emotionally connecting us to the Shakalo energy, healing the feminine, bringing the collective conscious energies together, taking us back on previous timelines as far back as 13,000 years. Now, it's very interesting. I had recently been up to the Northern Hemisphere for a holiday, and we went into the old city of Split and were doing a tour and were taken to the underground palaces of Split, which is on the Adriatic Sea. Now, these are thousands of years old, and how they even knew the technology and the engineering to build underground small cities with beams and pillars that could withstand another city being built on top. The architecture is amazing, as is the whole reason for building these cities that were literally underwater. And there was another one on television last night that I was watching, and it was an underground city in Turkey, a very similar structure to the one in Split. And I immediately came to my mind that this was to do with Atlantis, and that perhaps the sunken cities of Atlantis that we're looking for in the oceans are actually underneath the cities that exist already, but we don't understand their reverence or their connection. So you see, we're being awakened at immense levels of intensity, and when that occurs, the individual within us, you, me, the person next to you, your family, your friends, your lover, they are also going through intense shifts of reality, connection, awareness, understanding, growth and learning. Synchronistic events are empowering themselves and piling up so quickly and so rapidly for everyone. I would think no one anymore does not experience quite intense synchronistic events, because they're part of this reality that we are moving through. So with that, I thought this would be a really good time to do a beautiful Reiki healing meditation and blessing with the purple ray energy and the pink ray energy. And at the same time, we would also do a reading, an interactive reading for those of you who have chosen to be here for this, with this deck of cards, the Angels of Atlantis. Because even the back of the cards, with that energetic combustible movement there through the celestial realm, is exactly what we're talking about. And I've mentioned Atlantis. And I know that as we move through these timelines, or if you know, for some of you, you won't call them timelines, they won't feel any different than day-to-day life. There's so much going on. We've also got a solar minimum at the moment, which allows more galactic energy from the sun to enter the planet, which affects us very heavily in the emotional realm. We have cosmic rays and solar storms, which is what that is, that comes from the sun. We have more quantum light coming in. We have a potential pole shift occurring. The magnetic poles of the earth are moving quite rapidly. So we are technically bringing our consciousness and our soul's evolutions back to this whole concept of the monad, or the point of origin. And that is why we are seeing so many people talking about and connecting with the twin flame energy, that point of origin of light, the lightness of being. It's partly what we're seeking. And yes, there's a bit of confusion around the twin flame energy as to what it truly is, but it's the connection to the self in the first instance that we are truly looking for. And when I say to the self, it's to the part of the self that has always been extrapolated out from our vision, from our feeling, from our senses. It's the higher self. It's the cosmic self. It's the other half of us. And that's what we're seeking and looking for on this journey of life. We are seeking to find the lightness of being, that connection of feeling whole, fulfilled. Let's do some shuffling for this very special reading. We could call it a collective conscious eclipse, transformation, reharnessing of the energies reading. For anyone who does choose to listen, and when we do the Reiki work after the reading of the cards, the energy will be very powerful. There'll be a healing involved in it, a healing of any feelings or issues that have been around trauma, of bitterness or revenge or loss or fear. And there will also be a blessing bestowed upon events that may have taken place involving issues such as that, both in this timeline and in previous timelines. So just asking now for the purple and the pink rays to come in and give us the messages that we need to hear that will help us on our journey of recovery and moving forward. I'm going to do 2 different pulls, and the first one will be, the time is to sit back now and choose whether you will take number 1 or number 2. So since we are in the 7th month, July, I'm going to take from the 7th card down, then I'm going to reshuffle again for the second draw and take from the 7th card down again. So make your decision now. Do you want to take from the first card that comes out, so that's option number 1, or will you be picking option number 2 to hear your personal message? Okay, so this is for the first reading. This is the 7th card down. We have Metatron coming to us from the white light, and we have miracles. Let me just move that a little bit for you, and maybe even go down a little bit closer. So Metatron does come to you through the white light. He's particularly good working with youth and younger people, teenagers and children. He is very good at working with the intellect or the intelligence perspective of life. He works through the mind. He's also very good with people who suffer from Asperger's or ADHD, that type of unusual mind connectors that Asperger's and ADHD people have. So he's very good at working through those minds and into their spirit and into their awareness. He's very supportive and nurturing. He also gives a push and a pull and a prompt. So miracles are changes of perception, and Metatron wishes you to know that, like the miracle of a newborn life, you are bringing your creative force to the fore. Do anticipate a miracle occurring, for when we open ourselves to miracles, we relinquish our fear to God, to Metatron, who stands on the right hand of the divine. Therefore, open your mind to the possibility of any challenge you may have being lifted from your shoulders, and when you have let go, the Source will gift you with unexpected joy. You can chant He, H-I, from the throat chakra to enhance Metatron's magic. So, for those of you who either don't believe in miracles or who are seeking one, and this miracle could be in any dynamic or aspect of your life, and it could be dating back, as we said earlier, many, many lifetimes. Also very much ancestral healing and family healing. So for anyone who has picked this number, because we're talking about going back in time and taking away pain and trauma, for those of you who feel that there has been ancestral damage or harm, or wonder why you have picked the ancestral families that you have, this card here, this energy of Metatron and of the youth energy, may be able to help heal the DNA carnage or damage or disbelief that is associated around events that have taken place through the past of your family's heritage or history. Now, I know that there are definitely people who feel that they are in the wrong families, that they wonder why they are where they are or who they are with. But from the research or the understanding that I have come to figure out, you are here to help heal family trauma or issues, even if you feel they're not your own family. So it's almost like you could call it a gift that you are doing. You are doing work at some points in the reverse times to alleviate illness, and often mental illness that deals with abuse physically, emotionally, sexually. So there's healing that you are enabling one way or another to take place. And that may seem very obscure and very strange, but more may come to light on your journey of life as you move through that. So Metatron is also very good at activating white light energy, which is, it's fiery, it's extreme. You can see the intensity of the white light, for instance, here. So the white light brings us clarity or vision to things that we often can't see or work out. He's also in that card talking about miracles of divinity, of creativity and new birth. The new birth can sometimes represent the moving out of the old and into the new. So letting go of something old that no longer serves you. So for some of you, this will be a time when healings take place. You may not notice it, but you may notice a subtle energy change in your body or your mind. And these could feel like a lifting or a lightness, and you can't quite put your finger on it. And you may not even notice it. For some of you, you might feel it quite intensely and still not really know why. It's not in life that we have to know everything, because if we did, you'd be so flummoxed at all the things that we were required to know. So oftentimes things, events, situations, emotions, they'll happen, they'll move through, they'll work their way out, and you won't necessarily have to be working on them yourself full time. They're energetically being fixed or moved along at the subconscious, at the higher self, in the past timelines. And those all combined come together as we move through our life. And sometimes you'll feel them as strange ripples. You'll go, wow, why do I feel this deja vu? Or why do I feel tense right now? Or anxious? Nothing is creating it, but why? That's because in the background, the subtleties are taking effect and they're working. And they can create the flux and energy that sometimes shows up as an unusual panic attack or an extreme case of anxiety or a fear kicking in, or an emotional disturbance. But if we learn to just let it be and know that it will move on and that nothing stays the same, then those quite simply are the little miracles in life, changing us, transmuting us, forever moving us forward. So allow that energy and those messages that have come to subtly come into your energy stream today, and allow Metatron's miracles to take place, whatever they may be. And remember, they might be so subtle that you might not even know they've occurred, but understand that somewhere, something will be changing, and part of that will be a miracle. So that's choice number one. Let us put the cards back together and shuffle again for card number 2 from the 7th one down. I just should really move that out a little bit. Okay. This is for choice number 2. What messages are we going to receive? Okay. Raphael, Earth Force. And we have there, I wonder if there will be any. I think July is often a month when we do see the crop circles taking place. I think they take place predominantly in the Northern Hemisphere's summer, often up through the British Isles way. Yeah, so that's a crop circle in the picture. And if you look at the beautiful, powerful white light emanating from it. And this is the Archangel Raphael with the green energy coming in, and it's called Earth Force. So connecting to our planet Earth, to Gaia in particular, right now for some of you, will be beneficial. So I will just find the words from the book. Raphael lovingly suggests that you are in need of grounding. I think perhaps I needed that yesterday, the grounding energy. Here he reminds you of the beautiful energies that course through centres like the Glastonbury Tor, which is the heart chakra of the world. If you have been moving too fast physically or emotionally as a consequence of stress, take a moment to breathe and find stillness, and to connect with Mother Earth. Gaia is always present to hold you and help you, and just like unconditional motherly love, she gives account of who you truly are in all of your beauty and purity. Let Gaia hold the stress for you and all will be well. A message here obviously is for grounding. There could be something coming in some of the yet to be seen or made crop circles this year that will be very profound messages for some of you that you may connect with by looking at the crop circles. You don't have to visit them yourself, but they usually are uploaded online anyhow, and you can get to see the crop circles. Interestingly enough, I have a beautiful crop circle stone. It's a gemstone, and they call it the crop circle stone because of the pictures that it seems to create. Some of you may find it very beneficial to purchase a crop circle stone or a picture stone. It's funny, it depends which way you look at it as to how you think the picture is actually showing up. I always think it's that way up, and that looks a bit like a tree on the top, a tree of life sitting on a cliff with streams of sand and maybe solar wind at the top of the stone. But Raphael comes to you from the green chakra energy. This is the heart. So for some of you, this may be indicative of heart pain. And I'm thinking, you know, although this can be in the physical, I'm thinking it's more emotional that we're referencing here with the cards, because we've started the whole video off talking about the asteroid Sharkalo and the fact that there is energies transmuted through that asteroid and therefore through to us about bitterness, revenge or trauma, or being pushed down, or feeling as though you have been either overpowered or overlooked. And so that emotion, that green energy from the heart, comes to us as emotional trauma or pain. So for some of you, taking some time out and slowing down, because these are immensely fast times that we are moving through. They're fast-paced in every directive, whether it be physical, whether it be emotional, mental, spiritual. We literally have no downtime. We have no stopping. Even when we are asleep, we are receiving uploads, downloads. Our dreams are taking us to astral places. Many of us interact with other astral planes during sleep, which can be why some of us are sleepless or have disturbed sleep patterns or feel tired when we wake up. So there's something here for you guys that have picked number 2 about slowing down, grounding yourself, regaining strength from the physicality of Mother Earth's powerful strength. Iron ore, taking iron for some of you. We're coming into the physical now, but some of you literally need re-strengthening. And that could be through food or iron. Some of you might buy something that's metal or iron, which could be beneficial to help your inner strength as well as physical strength. There's movement in this card when you see that white light and it's surging up into the green energy of Raphael's healing. So some of you may find that you have this intensity around emotions or something to do with your heart, and I'm thinking of the emotional side. There might be something quick that is happening around you, whether it's in terms of past events that could be having a healing or are being reopened or revisited, and it could be unexpectedly quick. So this might be something that is taking place. And if you find that discombobulates you or opens you up or makes you feel traumatic or fearful again, then slow it down. Take some time out. Take time to be outdoors. Ground yourself with earth. And when you do those things, when you slow down this urgency, this fast-paced movement through these portals, through these time waves, through this travel, it allows you more understanding and it allows you more choice as well. So slowing things down, listening to either your own guidance or the guidance that you receive through synchronistic events or through celestial helpers, spirit guides, things along those lines. This can be a way of walking through trauma or walking through heartache or walking through uncertainty. Also call on Raphael. Know that Raphael is there to encourage your grounding efforts, to encourage healing, to encourage the healing of the heart. The message I'm getting here is like lifting the heart or freeing it from some bind. So slow things down and listen to what is happening around you. Don't feel rushed into situations where other people are involved, because remember, being that there's 7 billion of us on this planet, and most everyone is going through some sort of awareness or change in perception or awakening or ascension, they have objectives in their life as well. and their objectives at different points will involve you. So not only are you going through your own awakening and awareness and shifts of reality and perception, but the people you interact with are going through their own dharma and karma and trauma, and you play a role in their manipulations as well. So if you feel as though you are being used for someone else's speedy journey or recovery or understanding, and it's not serving you, then slow it down, rethink it, because primarily you're here to resolve your life's journey, to achieve your own inner happiness, to understand your soul's evolution. So there's a message here for you guys that choose number 2, that this is primarily about you. So to put yourself first, and that will mean in every perspective at the moment. It means physically, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, friendships, lovers, family, mother, father, son, daughter, everything. It means put yourself first. And it's very difficult to do when we're in convoluted relationships or situations. It's an ongoing journey, this one. This one is a more lengthy operation. The first card with Metatron, he works very, very quickly and at very high intensity and quick speeds, like the birth of a newborn baby. But Raphael is far slower and more patient and more kind in many ways. Kind to the self is the message that keeps coming through. So yeah, I hope that you have gained some sort of insight from these cards. This is not the usual reading in terms of a lightness. This is very deep. This is running very, very deep into a whole cosmic thread of energy that is coming in and bombarding us at this moment in time. So some of you may think, oh, you know, it doesn't make sense, or it's not inspiring to me, or I feel it's not answering anything specific. Even if you feel that, just let it be. Just let the words that have come just go through. Because something, as I said to the people who picked card number 1, something is happening. And you may not feel it and you may not understand it. But believe me, it is. So with that in mind, we've finished now the card reading section. I am going to do the Reiki healing and blessing. So here on our crystal grid, we have called in earlier in the reading the pink and purple rays. So on this, we have also induced the pink and purple ray energy. So in the middle, we have a combination of both colours, the pink and the purple, in the spirit quartz stone. To the left of it, we have ruby. Then we have argonite. Then we have opalite. Then we have rose quartz. Then we have thulite. And then we have amethyst. So all of these crystals are activated in this grid to bring you some powerful energetic enhancement and activation in the pink and purple ray realms. These bring in peace, subtle awareness, and insight, which is where we very first started this energetic vibrational reading, celestial reading. So all of these colours are back in the crystal grid. The pink, the purple, the combination of both, and the concepts and constructs of understanding, awakening, awareness, self-evaluation, and the other energetic values that these colours and stones and crystals are associated with: peace, healing, calm, love, self-love and self-awareness, regaining confidence, global and collective conscious peace. So as we just gaze at the crystal grid and ask for its activation to be uplifted to all of you, the stones harmonize with each other, sending vibrational frequency and energy into the ethers. The main stone, the spirit quartz, which is amethyst and citrine and rose quartz, activates all of the other pointers, and they all energetically can connect with each other, raising the collective vibration, consciousness, awareness and activation of each other. So I ask you to just sit back and relax. You can close your eyes and you can choose to allow thoughts to come in, thoughts that may be wanting healing to take place, or thoughts that may want energizing, or that may want resolving. Asking for the pink and purple ray energies to envelop the thoughts and hold them together for the best possible outcome. Allowing peaceful vibrations to enter your own space around you and to bring calm, peace, awareness and awakening to help bring resolution and clarity to questions that you are asking or situations you are experiencing. These crystals enable the grounding connectedness for those of you that chose number 2 in the reading, because these are all Mother Earth's crystals. Essentially, they help to ground us because we are working with the crystals of Earth. Even though technically they are reaching the higher chakra points with the purple energies, the third eye chakra of intuition, insight and awareness, and the crown chakra with the violet energies of understanding, celestial consciousness, connection to the light and awareness and understanding of all that is. These colours and the chakra points that they connect with take us out to the greater perspective, take us out celestially into the grand cosmos, where we seek and find answers to our higher self, our soul and our journey. As you take the time to connect with these beautiful, peaceful, loving energies, May you find that peace and calm radiate through you, for you, and from you. May any tense circumstances or situations be relieved with peace and calm and insight and evaluation and awareness. May any past tensions, traumas, bitterness or anger or revenge be released into the ethers and be released back into the past, so that any events are disabled from future trauma. And we just ask now for this blessing of protection from the crystals, the gems, the colours, the vibrational energies as it travels through this timeline and into the future and into the past, co-concordingly together. We ask that there be healings at each point in the timeline take place, allowing peace, resolution, a feeling of freedom and calm, understanding and awareness and insight. May you find these loving, gentle, nurturing energies flow through your day and night, and may this energy continue for you. For the next week following your Reiki meditation with this grid. May you feel the power of love and forgiveness, self-love and appreciation flowing into your life. I wish you the very best. May you be blessed. Peace, love and light. Namaste.